Question 8, we're given the functions y equals x squared, a nice simple parabola, and the function y equals minus 6x plus 16. Now, a quick sketch of that would show a nice simple parabola at one point, or for one curve, and then this is a straight line with a negative slope, and it goes through at the point plus 16, so this is not really going to be steep enough, but that will do. That represents y equals minus 6x plus 16, and this represents y equals x squared. So we have to find these 2 points of intersection. That's what we need, and to find the area enclosed between the two curves. All right. Again, to find those points of intersection, we do simultaneous equations. So x squared equals minus 6x plus 16. X squared plus 6x minus 16 is equal to 0. And let's factorise that bad boy, x and x. And I'm going 2 and 8. And this will be the plus, and that will be the minus. And therefore x has got to equal 2 and minus 8. So the x value here is minus 8, and the x value there is 2. Now we just do the integration. How sweet. You can do that easily. The area will equal the integral from minus 8 to 2, from minus 8 to 2, and the upper function is actually this bit. It's the straight line. So it'll be minus 6x plus 16, and then we subtract from that the lower function, which is x squared minus x squared dx. Now, if you actually get the order of these two functions back to front in your integral, that's fine. It just means you're going to end up with a negative answer. And because areas are never negative, an area is a positive thing, just like distance is always a positive thing. Because you've got a negative answer, it just means that's the indicator that you've got these things back to front. So just put absolute value signs in, and then you'll end up getting a nice an answer that shows the magnitude of the area. All right, we integrate this, and that will give us minus 6x squared on 2 minus 16x, plus 16x minus x cubed on 3, and then it's from minus 8 to 2, and when we put all of those numbers in, and that goes into that 3 times, so we'll have 2 squared is 4, 3 times 4 is 12, 2 times 16 is 32, so that's plus 32. There should have been a minus sign in front of this 12. We've got 32, and then this will be minus 8 on 3, minus, now we put all of this into here, minus 8 squared is going to be 64, and 3 times 64 is 192, so we'll have 192, and there's a minus sign again in front of that. So don't forget those minus signs, because in your assessment tasks, it's very likely you're going to lose marks by not keeping track, not keeping account of the minus signs, and that's very disappointing when that happens. Very frustrating. So just know that they're slippery rocks. When you're crossing that piranha pond, they're one of the slippery stones that wants to get you tripped up and gobbled up by piranhas. There are worse fish than piranhas, much worse. You should see river monsters. There are some serious river monsters. I wouldn't go swimming in places where I didn't know what was in the water. Woof, scary. All right, so and then this one will be 8 times 16, but it's a negative. So 8 16s, 80 and 48 is 128. So that'll be minus 128. And then 8 cubed is just getting beyond my brain. 64, 8 times 64, that's 480 plus 32. 480 plus 32 is 522. And that was cubed, so it's negative, negative, so that's plus 522. You know, I'm doing this in my head, so if I've made a mathematical error, soz. But you use your calculators. I'm trying to do this without my calculator because my brain needs the exercise. That's the exercise it needs. Now, we could put all of this into our calculator and maybe I can get a better estimation than what I've got at the moment, which is that's going to be 20 minus 8 on 3 plus 192 plus 128 minus 522, and I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. That looks like it's going to be a negative number. So maybe I have made a silly error somewhere. I feel like maybe I have made an error somewhere. As I said before, at this level of mathematics, it's the process that's important. And if I have made an error, definitely this is the upper function, and definitely this is the lower function. So that part I'm confident with. We've established the boundaries of integration, so this part I'm comfortable with. And when I integrate that, I'll end up with minus 6x squared on 2 and plus 16x minus x cubed on 3. So I'm happy with everything there. It's just quite possible that in using my aged brain, I've made some small error. And you can double check that to see where the error is. And it's probably something really blindingly obvious. All right, anyway, so there's an answer for that one. That's the process. Let's have a look at question 10.